Yo, what's up everybody? Welcome back to the Fata Morgana playthrough. Now, today we are going to be beginning door 7, which is going to be really quite exciting. I didn't notice this before, but it looks like it could possibly be in Michel's point of view. That is one part of the story that we haven't really explored, Michel's backstory, and I am assuming that by exploring Michel's backstory, we're probably going to learn a lot about Morgana. I don't know, but what I want to do firstly is just reread a little bit of this, because obviously yesterday we were doing something different. We looked at all of the other endings and all of the other choices that I've missed thus far. So yeah, it's going to be quite interesting to see what happens here. But yeah, anyway, when should we begin? Morgana! I love that. Yeah, let's read it from here. Why not? Yeah, my god. I still have the song that was playing at the end of this in my head. Such an evil, malicious song. I love it. But why would Michel resurrect Morgana? Or, I remember Michel saying that he has made a mistake that has arisen from love. Maybe it could be related to that, but at the same time, why does Michel even have the power to resurrect her? That's a better question as well. That's interesting. So if Gazelle wasn't here, then maybe Michel would have been somebody who he didn't even feel was human in retrospective, and he would have been Morgana's guide, which is quite interesting. Yeah, fair enough. I mean, she's remained there long enough. Yeah, of course you did. Yeah, this is what I was referring to a few minutes ago. What I'm supposed to be. Interesting, that. Yeah. But this is interesting. I wonder what she's saying here. Isn't it interesting? You can just so tell that Morgana is somebody who really just tortures for the fun of it. Yeah, you're just... And it really is as if it's a show at this point, and it's just... Morgana's torture show uploaded to God knows where. Yeah, I wouldn't go making... I wouldn't go making promises that are very, very unlikely to happen with somebody like Morgana, and promises of things that are kind to happen as well. God, Michel does not know what he has got himself into. I get that impression. But that's interesting. So that might imply that finding Michel finding his way to Morgana might take a long, long time. I do wonder. Yeah, so basically, because of Morgana... I do actually see what Morgana's saying here. Yeah. But the only thing is that she's clearly missing is the fact that Gazelle has surely reflected on these things, but at the same time she's found the person that she has been living all of this. Well, actually not really. I suppose Michel is there, but at the same time, I suppose the reason she initially began this was to be reunited with Michel, and now that is happening, and if anything, Michel was kind of the person who caused all of this to happen, I suppose. So at least she's with Michel. That will probably make her feel, and obviously at least she's feeling love and feeling emotions and being able to be talked to in a personal sense. That's probably quite beneficial for her. But at the same time, I can totally see what she's saying. But maybe she won't go mad because of potential affection or attachment to Michel. I don't know. Or maybe that could be the reason she goes mad. We have no idea. Yeah. How unfair is that? Morgana was literally controlling Gazelle at this point. But the only thing is, I mean, I just find it really interesting that the mansion is kind of connected to willpower, because I remember when we escape, our willpower is stronger to escape than the maid's is to keep us in. So the mansion doors are open, which is unusual. Yeah, that's interesting. That's a really good analogy for Gazelle's situation, actually. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. Yeah. Michel is very, very devoted. I almost just said demoted. Anyway, beginning of door 7 now. Where are we? That was not what I was expecting. Oh? Okay, this was definitely not what I was expecting whatsoever. Oh, you have got to be kidding me. Is this... I really didn't expect this to happen. My mansion rather than, I don't know, Morgana's mansion. Weird. That's really unusual. Yeah, this is so odd. Maybe when Morgana was saying... Well, I don't know. I mean, it's really unusual because Morgana says you can have her back. So obviously that kind of explains this. But at the same time, she says Michel needs to spend all time getting to Morgana and being able to find her again. Otherwise, Gazelle will just go mad with... I don't know. I mean, I thought that would imply she'd go mad with the progression of time, but surely time can't really progress like it did before because she has a limited lifespan here? I don't know. Let's see what happens. Practice conversation. That is so cheesy. Yeah, fair enough. Oh my god, I get that she's not trying to say this directly, but it still has a bad effect of offending somebody, let's be honest here. Conversationalist. Who uses them? So there's a... Imagine if there was an occupation, a conversationalist. Job description, talks to people. Yeah. I wouldn't do very well at that. She literally is saying that though. What does she mean? What did you mean then? Yeah, that's fair enough. But she has kind of changed what she was saying. It's good that she enjoys it though. Isn't it interesting, by the way? Her eyes look really... I mean, it's obvious that they would, but her eyes look really similar to the maid's here. Yeah, I know. It's just so weird. Yeah, sure. But at the same time, I just don't really understand why we are being shown this. It feels like we are totally reliving it, but how? So is it as if Michel's spectating? A past Michel? Yeah, fair enough. Gazelle really is getting this relationship going because, I mean, well, who can blame him? Michel's been shut in a mansion for 10 years. Of course, somebody wouldn't have much in terms of social skill, and also betrayal as well. Yeah, fair enough. Where the fuck? Why are we here? Well, I mean, take the opportunity, sure. Yeah, Gazelle's ready for the most embarrassing memories. Oh god. Oh, that's interesting. So, I'm kind of surprised we're learning more about Gazelle rather than Michel. Why not? I bet you she's... Isn't she 21? Well, she will eventually, but still. Oh, you've... It's just like Gazelle to make it as fun as possible before actually giving the answer, I suppose. But it's just interesting that Michel was being shown memories. I just wonder what's happening beyond the memory. Oh my god. You must be. Oh my god, her face. I wish he was serious, damn it. Oh my god. That's hilarious. I love that. My good day is over. This has got to be a quote. See what happens in the other choices. See what happens here. Oh god. Oh god. Oh my god, that's hilarious. Oh right, okay. I thought you meant the other type of mature. Okay. Like the more sexual one. She's 20. Damn. Oh my god, yeah, how old is Michel? Mention obese rats. That's where he's looking. Gosh, he's getting pissed off. Yeah, how old is Michel? So it's not that bad. Okay. Damn. Instant relationship end. Oh my god. That's hilarious. I so wish he said obese rats here. For what it's worth. Yeah, what is it worth? Oh god. To be honest, I do actually kind of get what Michelle was saying. She does speak like a child. But she's really fun, I don't care. And she is nice, and obviously she is mature when she needs to be. Last choice where we actually correctly guess her age. Ah, yes. How do you know somebody's age? From 4 options, you guess 1. Or you've been stalking them for your entire life. Sorry, for her entire life, even. Or you've just, I don't know, found a birth certificate or something. In that letter that he sent to his mum, he secretly asked, "How old is this person?" No. Or, I don't know, send back his her birth certificate or something ridiculous like that. Assuming that birth certificates existed in this time and they existed in the country that they are in. Just gotta put that out there. But yeah, that's a bit creepy and also a bit impossible to happen at that time as well. Oh my god. How to talk to girls 101. Right, what are we doing? I want the choice where we guess she's 30 to be the one that we choose here. Right, let's do this one, this is the most interesting. Yeah, totally. Yeah, that's a bit of an odd scenario. So you have 3 women, 2 kids, and no father. Is that because your father is a cheater, or is it because of the fact that the father died? No, I know. I mean, a single parent having to support 1 kid is bad enough, but 2, and it's in times like these as well. It must be very difficult for them, and especially now that they have absolutely no idea what's happening to Gazelle. And I'm assuming that Antonin has probably stopped supporting them. Let's be honest here. And I do find it very interesting that what Gazelle does is, with her family at first, she tries to live the best life and obviously tries her hardest to please Michel, just so that she can believe that they are being supported. But it's interesting that she's just really filled with this false impression that they are still supporting the family. And it's interesting that she kind of, when she breaks down and obviously she goes from the village, she just kind of uses the mansion as a means of escape from everything. And she forgets about her family, to be honest. And I mean, sure, she'll still think about them, but they won't be as important as they were to her when she initially came because of the fact that Michel's there. But obviously she still does instinctively have that will to return home and to see how they're doing and obviously support them because of her and Michel wanting to go back to the Bollinger estate together. Oh, fuck, that's horrible. Yeah. Jesus Christ. Oh, Gazelle has an older sister. That must be so tough. Yeah. Surprising, but yeah, very strong people. Yeah, I can tell just by how cheerful Gazelle is. Yeah, I totally agree, and after all of the horrible events that have happened in her life, she just recognises the value of being happy and making the most of your situation. But let's be honest, she wouldn't have recognised that value if it wasn't for Michel. They could have broad shoulders and muscular arms and yet, I don't know, be a criminal or something like that. They could be the most lazy... Well, no, you can't have broad shoulders and muscular arms and be lazy. You've still got to constantly maintain your muscles, but yeah. Yeah, I suppose. It depends on their personality, though. Yeah, unlike Michel, it seems. Yeah, that's true. So it's interesting how much of a contrast they have. But they're both separated from their family for their reasons. That's the one thing they have in common. True. True, that is actually very true. It really is both extremes. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, and isn't it interesting, for example, Michel just totally being banished to this mansion because of his looks. Did he say this out loud or something? I mean, I don't blame Michel for thinking this, but at the same time, why are they still giving him necessities and food? And why did that letter appear to Gazelle? I mean, I get that that was a long time ago, but still. Gazelle did live in the village for quite a long time. That's tough. There really isn't any way of knowing. Yeah, that's fair. But I mean, if you're lying to yourself to believe something like this, it's only going to be able to last for a certain amount of time before, obviously, you just can't keep up the lie anymore, and then you just kind of betray yourself, you fall into decline. Yeah, that is fair enough. But it's interesting, Gazelle's trying her hardest to be positive. In the beginning, for example, she tried her hardest to be positive, but then she did break just because her situation was so negative that she just couldn't keep up. She really couldn't. Especially when Michel had the wrong idea and obviously threatened her with the knife. That is fair. Well, I mean, it's just he said something and then... Well, no. I actually see that, yeah. And obviously with everything here. I mean, it is weird. I do actually get what Michel's saying because he never said this out loud. Yeah. But it's interesting that what Michel's emotions are really they're really affected by his experiences, I suppose, and Gazelle's never really had those experiences, so that means she can view everything positively. Yeah, that is interesting though. Yeah, but why can't you? But why can't he? That's the thing, I really do wonder. Oh my god, that's interesting. But the only thing is we are in Michel's point of view and yet nobody is talking to him. So I really do wonder if this is... Oh, no. I don't really understand why he's saying this to Gazelle. Obviously, I suppose it's cruel in the sense that he can't get everything that's worrying him off his chest because he feels as if he can't talk about it for some reason. But is that really Gazelle's fault? Why is Gazelle cruel because of it? No, I totally agree. That's actually really quite interesting. So I think Gazelle has probably been able to read us in the sense that we are a bit insecure and we're having stress. So she's just totally trying to distract us from said stress by saying something that's completely unrelated. Fair enough. That's hilarious though. Gazelle was very, very insisting. Oh, so that's how it means preferences. That's hilarious. Yep, just totally acting like a child. I mean, I won't say it's boring. I don't care. Do it. Oh god, this is going to be really cheesy. I really, really hope that she doesn't describe everything that would apply to Michel, because that would be so awkward. Oh god. So I suppose... I know. Yeah, so if Gazelle wants to disclose this confidential as fuck information, Michel has to talk as well. But you loved somebody before. Really? He's really not talkative about his past. It's interesting. I do wonder if we're actually going to learn about it. Ever. I hope we do. Damn. This really is a one-person show. Yes, he did definitely ask. I suppose what Gazelle was saying about somebody being broad-shouldered and muscular, it kind of is reflected in this, because she kind of had admiration and positive feelings towards this person. No. What do you mean? I'm not gay though. Not for me. You should say my instead of your. I mean, Michelle is the opposite of muscly. She is a woman in this time, and yet she could still beat Michelle in an arm wrestle. And I say that because in that time, women are just stereotypically weaker. Men would always do the hard physical labour. So I suppose even so, in that time, it probably would have been very, very unusual for a woman to be stronger than a man. But that is actually what's happening here. Okay. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, that's fair. Michelle sounds so salty, oh my god. The buff bastard. Yeah, fair enough. Oh god, we know the last time Michel wanted to come up with something to say. What is... Well, if you retice on something, you hold back on it. Yeah, that does kind of make sense. That is interesting. Damn, Michel was actually saying something. Gazelle was as surprised as I am. Oh my god, of course she is. Oh, okay. Okay. You didn't try to woo her. Yeah, no wonder. Well, it could be realised, but I think it will be a bit complicated. Oh god. Yeah, I suppose it's good that they're going through that together then. That's hilarious. So Michel's crush when he was 14, and yeah, but that is interesting that Michel really puts himself down just because of what his family has done, and that's how you can tell he's kind. God. But that is very interesting because you just see the proper example of the fact that Michel has probably been really quite bullied and put down and obviously persecuted. Just the lack of self-confidence he has, it's awful. Yeah, true. I totally agree. And it is interesting just how much of an opposite Michel is to Gazelle. And I think it's ironic that you can even put that in their physical appearance. Like, for example, short black hair for Gazelle, long white hair for Michel. And personality-wise, I suppose. Yeah, fair enough. Michel doesn't realise just how much he is making enjoyable conversation. Well, Gazelle has made it, but then he's contributing to it. That's really interesting. So I suppose she's trying to say that with Michel it's more natural and he's not somebody who's just putting up an appearance. Yeah, he is not putting up an appearance. I get that he's negative, but this is so genuine, and that's probably really valuable. And you can see all of the people being overly positive in the village, and Gazelle just not really feeling like that life is the right one for her. And as a result of that positivity, also the potential for fakery. Like, for example, Amidi, a lot of people just think that, well, I mean, a lot of people, why did I say that? I meant Michel thinks that he's just manipulating Gazelle so that, well, they can be together with no clothes. Let's just say that. Well, oh god. Well, manipulating her for what's under her clothes, basically. I mean, it's a bit direct, but that's basically what's happening. Yeah, that's really good. And if anything, she's propelling the conversation onwards because she wants to. Yeah, sure, Michel's negative and he's just really reserved and reluctant to speak. But do you know what he is? Real. Genuine. He's not putting up any fronts. I can definitely see why Gazelle will find that valuable. Yeah, totally reasonable. Now he really is being talked to like a kid. Joking about love with Michel was the biggest mistake. What's happening now? I suppose it is interesting that Gazelle says that Michel is kind of like a kid, in the sense that kids don't really betray people like this, like adults would. And she can relax around Michel, which is good. To be fair, that is a good question, but I mean, sure, some of the knowledge can be useful later on, but you don't need to do anything with the knowledge. If anything, in a situation like that, I suppose the knowledge isn't the thing that matters the most. It's rather just what happens as a result of... No, it's weird because people conveying information like this, some of it's nice to know. Some of it will obviously increase your perception of said person, but a lot of it is just completely useless trivia that you're never going to meet with again. But at the same time, it is that said trivia that kind of develops a relationship, really, because it, by conveying said trivia, they connect. But I do kind of see what Michel's saying. It's interesting how lack of a social ethic he has. Yeah. Yeah, just learning for the sake of it, not learning because there's any point of it. Yeah. Yeah. There will never be nothing left to learn though, surely? And let's be honest, if you're a couple, there are always going to be new things that you can learn about together. Yeah. Or it didn't ever come. But yeah, that is true. And even if it is true, the situations around them are changing, so there's still going to be something that changes as a result of that. Fully fair. If only they were, yeah. Yeah, totally. And if only this is how it ended, my god. So much less in terms of complications would have happened. I know. Yeah, you don't even know it, and yet you're starting to develop feelings for her. Oh, it's just awkward. So I really do wonder, yeah, what is this? That's a shame. Yeah, and I can see why he'd regret it now. There's never... Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. And I mean, obviously you can't really blame him, he's not had much experience with this before, but at the same time it is just a shame that... I mean, he was acting on what Gazelle was saying, and he was saying like he'll try his best to make this work, and obviously he does have a few things that he's told Gazelle, but he hasn't really opened up to her. But let's be honest, who can blame him? And it's somebody's choice whether they want to open up or not in the moment. I mean, in retrospective, of course, you're the choice and how much you think you should have opened up would be different, but yeah, I don't really think I can blame him for not wanting to open up. I mean, of course he wouldn't trust people much. Seeing Gazelle actually must be something very odd for him, just because he's probably so used to being quite persecuted by people because of... and discriminated against. Just because of his looks, and also, I don't know, these weird things about him being cursed as well. I think he definitely is better in the sense that he has been able to fully connect with Gazelle, and he has been able to... Well, I mean, I suppose his love for Gazelle was so strong that their bond has reconnected, and Gazelle has forcibly been made to remember the connection that they once had, and obviously has been able to reconnect. But at the same time, I mean, I suppose it has ended badly, but I think he's way better than how he was then. I think he's actually really downplaying himself here. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, it does kind of make sense because there's just so much that Michel... Well, I suppose you never really realise the value of the relationship until it's taken away, and there's just so many things that you wanted to say but you didn't because you were inexperienced, and that gives you a reason to go forward, I suppose. So is this door 7 now? You must never. What? Is this Morgana speaking? I'd assume it would be. Oh my, yeah, it's Morgana. Oh my god, what's this? Them? Who's them? Why? Oh my god, what the fuck? Dude, look at this. Oh god. I do wonder if this door is going to be like the more horror related elements that this mansion definitely has potential to produce. My god, look at the blood. It looks awful. Whose blood? But isn't that interesting to think about the fact that Michel is... I don't really know what's happening to Michel, but he's clearly re-experiencing old memories, and I suppose that's just increasing his conviction that he really, really wants to save Gazelle. But Gazelle, it just totally feels as if she has become vulnerable to Morgana. God. So when it says them, it's talking about the old selves, I think. Actually, who? Surely it would be your souls rather than their souls. Oh, wait. I suppose if you treat old selves as totally different people, then maybe, but... Oh, I don't know. But the only thing is, what happens if... How can you curse an old self? Because the old... Well, no, I suppose this story is one that really defies the law of time. Actually, no, does it? Wait, no. I mean, we have been able to re-experience memories, but we haven't really been able to rewrite them. I don't know, I think I'll come back to that. It's a bit unusual. God, isn't it just hilarious to think about how unknown all of this is to us? Michel, okay. New theme. Yeah. This is exactly the same as the beginning, but I think it's going to have the contrast in the sense that Morgana is here rather than the maid to welcome you. It is suffocating. Yeah, exactly. And whose blood is this? This is a really unusual theme. I like it. And that's what Morgana said. You need to find Morgana until you go mad. Well, you need to find Morgana even if you go mad. It doesn't even matter how long it will take. But Morgana did say that we can have Gazelle back. At the cost of having to do that, which is a bit odd. Especially considering this blood on the fireplace. Whose blood is this? I'd assume Gazelle's. I forgot the maid can't bleed. Look at when Yukimasa tried to strike her chest. she can't bleed. Is this Michel's blood? Totally. Yeah. Drifts from the ceiling? What the fuck? Jesus Christ, have we had another Yukimasa in here or something like that? No, I totally agree. The weirdest thing about this is it's as if nothing has happened, but everything has just been totally rewritten. I mean, you're just not rewritten. Sorry. It's just been the effects of everything leading up to now. It just feels like they've been totally undone. And if anything, you're just back to where you started, but in a worse position, in a way. Unusual. Reasonable, yeah. Will you? So you're going to come for Gazelle. You have the most determination in the world because of not only how guilty you think, you interpret the situation, but how regretful you are. But at the same time, you're dragging your heavy feet forward. Are you really going to have the power? Fair enough. The observation tower? Yeah, that's what you would think, but what's going to prevent him from getting there, I wonder? Or maybe the observation tower is going to be sealed off with an unbreakable seal or something like that. I don't know. This is really weird. Why is everything totally covered in blood? It's as if the mansion and everything Michel has known is just deliberately trying to taunt him. Oh my god, yeah, more blood. I thought so, yeah. Oh, Morgana's making this as difficult as possible, yeah. Yeah, I see that. Oh my god, so is it untie the chains in complete darkness? And it's probably with a really intricate pattern as well. Yeah, it does make sense though, considering that everything here is very, very different to what he knows. Yeah, it's so weird. Fair. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. Oh my god, we're going to see all of the mansion just totally covered in blood. Yeah, and it is interesting how Morgana is just so instinctively trying to make everything as terrifying as possible. I'm going to take a bit of a break for a sec. Right, okay, let's see what the hell this is about. Right. This thing about the chain is so unusual. So obviously we have to have 3 locks, but the only thing that's ironic and I think is really quite effective about how evil Morgana is she always gives an apparent way out. She always makes it so that it feels like there is a possibility of a good solution happening, and yet when that good solution does happen, she just totally, or when that good solution has the highest potential of happening, she just destroys everything. I kind of got that impression with Morgana. Sorry, with how Morgana completely crushed Michel and Gazelle's reunification in Door 6. Yeah. You can really see how devoted she is just to being to being a sadist and completely making their life as hard as possible. And obviously making them submit to her. It feels like it isn't the same house, especially because of the fact that the mansion you knew may have been covered in dark, but it wasn't covered in blood. And awful smells as well. Interesting. Yeah, no, I see that, because you just have a really quite beautiful painting depicting a rural landscape, and then you just have blood staining the painting and ruining everything that's in it. Yeah, it's very unusual. It really, really is. So, yeah, will he be able to talk again? That's so weird. So it just genuinely feels like there is someone in the paint. God, how does that even work? I just think it's hilarious that it really does feel as if this mansion is alive. It just feels like everything is so cut off from society. Can he say something? I don't know if he can. Yeah, you need to save Gazelle. Yeah. Or at least have a chance of saving her. You don't even know if any of this is going to give a reasonable result. He's not saying anything. Oh my god. But the only thing is, I mean, I get that we are seeing dialogue from the man in the painting, but he's saying nothing. Does that actually properly give an indication of the fact that he's existing? Maybe there is no man in the painting, and we are just being deceived by a false narration. Never mind. What am I reading? Oh my god. Is this guy totally broken? So basically everything in the house has gone totally insane. I don't think that's going to happen. So I wouldn't assume that he is... I don't know. I mean, he's definitely lost his ability to form a coherent sentence. He's very, very scared, and through that fear he's probably become a little bit mad as well. God, this is so weird. That's so weird. It is as if the blood and, I suppose, suffering and cruelty is just part of this mansion. Any. You, ha ha ha, had a question for me. That's what it sounds like it's saying. You had a question for me. God. Go on. I'm listening. Said surprisingly clearly. No, it feels like the painting is So we're personifying a painting, brilliant. But yeah, the painting is completely on the opposite side of the witch, I suppose, because it really feels like the man in the painting is somebody who's a victim of whatever the witch has done. He really feels as if he has gone insane with fear. Who's her? Witch or gazelle? Oh, that's interesting. After all, it was the story behind the story, so it does make sense to a certain extent. He doesn't even know himself. Interesting. But why are we assuming that the three men are in the mansion? Them. Ah, and you find the keys too. The keys too. God. What's you yourself? So you're really going to have to demonstrate conviction and good intent as well. Why would they not trust Michel easily though? Maybe somebody asking about Morgana is a very, very negative thing. And we're just assuming these people who are dead are going to be existing within the mansion as well, yeah? Casually. Oh, God. That's weird. Who is this man? I'm supposed to find out who the identity of the person in this painting is. It could be anybody. So 3 people who have committed very, very bad sins. So maybe they are the people who have somehow caused Morgana to be as horrible as she is. Who knows? Yeah, interesting. Yeah, you're going to have to totally learn about Morgana, but this feels like Morgana is really doing this with the intent of making Michel learn. Why is that important? And I'm assuming when we learn, we're probably going to realise why. Or at least I hope we do. Fair enough, it's really interesting. That's really interesting. Salvage. I suppose it's salvage in the sense that you're trying to... Well, no, to salvage something kind of means to craft it from raw materials, surely? So I suppose you could... It's kind of like salvaging the truth, maybe? I wonder what happens if we don't go in order. We'll go in order just to be good boys. Firstly, I suppose. Why not? And then we'll see what happens if we don't. I find it funny that in every single picture we see there is some sort of blood. Yeah, God, and that single rose, now it's an entire garden of them. And, well, then it was an entire garden of them, and now it's just totally rotted away. And it's neglected. Oh, I'm wrong. That's really surprising. So, this is the past. That's really weird. Yeah, okay, never mind. Fair. I really like this artwork. I think they've done a very good contrast of colour. And I like how the only bit of colour in the image feels very, very... Well, it just feels like it blends in with the grey and the darkness. So it really isn't that significant. Who are you? Oh my god. Is this Mel? It feels like he's kind of a record player. He's only saying things along these lines. Yeah, it is Mel, okay. Yeah, but isn't that interesting? Because I suppose he is... I don't really understand why it's as if his soul is trapped here, but at the same time, I suppose it does make sense after everything that happened with him and the white-haired girl that he's feeling like this. Yeah, just really, really feeling as if... well, I suppose he feels guilty that everything revolved around him. He wants to escape, and obviously he's very, very sad that it happened. Yeah, totally. That's the most horrible thing. They had potential to maybe get to know each other more, and obviously for Mel to be able to properly help the white-haired girl. But the thing is that Nelly existed, so that could never ever happen. And that is unfortunately reality. I just find it really interesting that these are the three men that we have to get the keys from. It's just really surprising that I thought it was going to be three men that shaped Morgana's life, but no. Oh god, yes, I think the next two will be. I can totally see what he's saying. I know. Yeah, that's interesting. What is Mel's sin? Seriously. Isn't that interesting? Yeah, so I just kind of implied that it was never... I was just kind of guessing that it was never told to us in the text. I'm being a bit of an idiot. Yeah. And if anything, ironically, maybe he did become a prisoner of his own will. But isn't that interesting? You're not one of her prisoners. So unusual. So it's as if Mel's spirit and his soul have been totally trapped within the mansion after he's died. So weird. Yeah, what has happened to Mel? But why is it the case that he was ever trapped in the first place? Hold up, I've just got to mute for a second. Okay, I think I can unmute now, but fucking hell. He really is trying his hardest to get this key. It's not working though. And I get the impression that for some reason we are going to be forced to save Mel. But why does Morgana care? Why is Morgana making us free people like this? Out of everybody who I thought it would be, I never thought it would be her. Why? Maybe it's the question of what do we have to do to ourselves to make it so that these people are free? And why were they even trapped in the first place is a good question, I suppose. I suppose it's maybe just a little exercise to demonstrate the willpower of Michel. Yeah, totally. You have to save this person. You need to put yourself in some sort of priority because you are going to lose your arm if you keep this up. Will they though? And even if they do brush past the key, will you be able to collect it? That'll just be the utmost humiliation. It barely grazes the key, but then you can't grip said key with your fingers. God. Interesting. He's being ridiculous. I mean, I'm sorry, but there is so much of an extent that you should be prioritizing yourself over your loved one. He has determination, but where is his logic? What the fuck? Or maybe that was just a lie told to stop Michel from basically self-harming at this point. This is a very confusing relationship. Interesting. Ah, yes. So, making it so that somebody puts their hand into not even, well, rose bushes that have lots of prickly thorns that feel as if they are made of iron and metallic and very, very sharp. And he's probably feeling so much pain in his arm, and it all could have been prevented. Like this. Will you? Really? You're way worse. Yeah. Exactly, yeah. Yes, it is a big deal. That's going to hurt him for this entire journey. That's a very good question. Yeah. Yeah, fair enough. I mean, to be fair, it's really weird in the sense that all of these people have died, but at the same time they are still alive within this fantastical world of Morgana, in a way. Yeah, that's the only thing Michel appreciates. Reasonable. Yeah. Yeah, it is surprising. I don't know why, but I really don't think it's going to be this simple. God, no. Oh God, that's very true. Michel probably really... Well, I mean, Michel does know the characters, but at the same time, he's got to be prepared for anything. I don't even know if he's prepared enough for this. What would have happened then, though? That's interesting that he says something like that. But isn't it interesting to think about the fact that we try to... Well, Mel asks us to set him free, but at the same time we just don't have any ability to do so. Because, like Michel very reasonably said, we don't have enough information. We don't have enough indication that we can save him. Where is Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you do not know what setting him free would do. But at the same time, yeah. And I mean, what would be more awful? Making a promise and then never being able to fulfill it? That would be awful for both of you. Or just not making the promise whatsoever and, I suppose, making everybody continue to live in anguish. Yeah, but it is interesting that Mel really just tries as much as he can. Yes, you lie that you drop the key, and then you do so just so that yeah, so that's interesting. Just I'm just really surprised that Mel does give the key in the end. Yeah, so I suppose there's not really much point of hiding the key just because of the fact that he's not going to be able to help Mel, I suppose, get out of this confinement that Morgana has actually been... Well, the confinement that Morgana has been making Mel subject to. Yeah, that's interesting. So what Morgana is trying to do here is make our life as difficult as possible by doing this challenge. So I suppose Mel dropped the key because he was just thinking, if he was just thinking that Michel would try to search for the key and then he would realise it was inaccessible, so then he would do everything within his power to help Mel, and then he would be able to get the key. I think that was his thought process, but when he realised that Michel just had zero interest in helping Mel become free from this, he just stopped. But what's interesting to me is that by doing so, he has completely defied Morgana's orders, if anything. So what's going to happen to him, I wonder? Or maybe he is going to get the release he wants for this. I just think it's so weird that all of these people are totally trapped here, and I can't imagine what Yukimasa especially is going to be like. Fair enough. But why? That is my question. Why is it? Maybe Mel says this because if the spirit of Nelly sees Mel, then she could react really badly, because obviously Mel rejecting her is what caused her death, caused by mental illness in the end. It is understandable. It is interesting. Feels unusual. Maybe he feels sorry for her. Yeah, I do too. Or if he's totally disappeared. Right, do you know what? Unfortunately, I'm too tired now, so I'm going to end, and then we're going to see the further outcomes of these choices later on, and honestly they are going to be, in my opinion, the significantly more exciting ones. Obviously the one with Mel is interesting, and it was really good for introducing the scene, and it was really odd just seeing how much of a wreck Mel was. I mean, my god, just basically what he did is he subjected Michel through all of that pain just to prove a point in his head. I mean, that is not something I would have thought someone like Mel would do. But, yeah, it's very, very interesting, this house here, because, this mansion here, because, it feels very, very different, and it feels like all of the souls that have experienced the mansion have somehow been trapped here. I don't get what's happening, and I'm excited to learn, actually. I hope we'll learn about just what Morgana is trying to do and why she is trying to make our life as difficult as possible. And obviously, by making our life as difficult as possible, she is also ruining she's putting all of these people who have experienced stuff in this story just into eternal torment, really. So, yeah, you really do just wonder why she is doing it. Why does she want somebody to become her puppet? You really do wonder. I think it's Morgana just being a really powerful entity and just being entertained, to be honest. Just wanting to play games for just to cope with the sheer boredom of immortality, which she probably has, let's be honest here. But yeah, I don't know, I can only guess. But yeah, anyway, see you guys next time. I'm really fucking tired at the moment.